Python versus Kastet now. Or wait, Kastet?
Versus Sorrowful.
Oh yeah, versus Sorrowful. I was just looking at the left side of the screen there, and I just read the two names instead of paying attention and doing the thing I was supposed to do and casting the game.
Kastet is still here, but
yeah, Kastet is here. He's casting on the Russian side of things. Old Python over here with the Force Commander again facing off against the Eldar. Sorrowful as the Far Seer.
I was gonna say, where's this Farseer going? Looking like going for the power, then the victory point, then the power. Dire Avengers, meanwhile, moving forward, looking for, going for the farther requisition point than the closer one.
Yeah, I tend to do that sometimes just to let my second squad grab the closer one, and then everything can kind of move out at the same time. Might get a little vision. You can then move over to the power node quickly and see which squad is actually capping that, and then have an idea of how you want to engage. So he'll cap here. The Dire Avengers will spot the scouts. They can actually just engage the scouts and probably force them back.
Yeah, that's a good fight for them. They'll be able to walk up to that green cover, those big old pipes. Scouts will just move back, though. But, I mean, they're actually already pretty close to losing a model. And there it is. And they retreat.
Yeah, so Scout goes down. Guide comes in on the Farseer. She's going to try to start hacking through some power armor. Gets a nice knockback and prevents the cap at the last moment. Nice job. Sorrowful. Giving Python a run here so far. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah,
of course, these are just the opening engagements, so it doesn't really, it's not really too much to see right now. But Kastet, I feel like, was not taking early engagements even very well. So a nice start here. 2 gens down from the Eldar, so that fast power tech that we're so used to seeing. Probably see a Shuriken or Rangers coming out right away.
Although I wonder if he was watching the previous series, might not want to try the double Guardian weapon team if he was, since Old Python definitely has, you know, kind of an answer to that. Bruce Campbell even laying in chat his thoughts, saying that Old Python goes Storm Shields a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Time.
I mean, despite Banshees being, like, one of the big threats in Eldar, like, if you can shut down that Eldar range damage, that's not insignificant. Alright, so Rangers coming in.
Alright, so and man, you know, it's like speak of the devil. I talk about the one build that I feel like I never see anymore, and here it is.
Yeah, so the Rangers are out, the Shuriken's out. We got Banshees, we got Dire Avengers, we got all the varied threats from the Eldar army. So still just the 1 node down for Python. Sorrowful, looking like in a pretty solid spot here.
Yeah, this is a more even game than the last one, and I mean, again, of course, it's early game where can't always do that much to your opponent, but Kastet was losing like very early fights, like really just like the first engagements being forced off the field and then losing the entire map off it. Sorrowful. I'm surprised how hard that word is. Actually has the double cap, has a reasonable amount of, yeah, I mean, the map control is actually roughly even aside from just the double cap on the victory points in favor of Sorrowful. And Sorrowful actually going for the double Rangers. I mean, this is a huge amount of power investment, but it's also something that is incredibly oppressive against the scouts and just, I mean, most of what Old Python has if executed correctly.
Yeah, this is it's a big power investment, but since the Eldar dropped their 2 gens pretty much right at the start of the game, things are actually pretty even as far as the tech race goes. And of course, we see Python. Python, we've not seen, you know, slacking on those scout upgrades. And I think maybe we were talking how Sorrowful got to kind of watch the last series, knowing that Python invests so much in those scouts, maybe deciding the double Rangers are going to be a way to kind of shut that down. We even have the Doombringer now on the Farseer. You can see that Doom going down on the Force Commander right there, getting a quick force off. That combined with the double Rangers could actually be quite nasty.
Yeah, I think that's great on the Force Commander. You know, he's the tanky melee hero, so he's just going to draw a lot of attention, buy a lot of time, and that Doombringer just kind of really ensures that he just gets melted pretty fast and won't last too long. Oh, Banshees. No, they actually don't get the flank. They thought they were getting the flank.
Yeah, where's the
Farseer trying to
kinetic
get the
shot?
flank.
They don't have their upgrades quite yet. No aspect, but these might
might be
still
the
be.
end of the-
Oh my gosh, the guide takes them out. I don't know if he had Doom right there or not, but those Eldar long rifles putting in the work, and then the power swords finishing the job.
So yeah, I mean, Sorrowful, he's certainly proven a lot right now, looking very strong. I don't know if this is just, you know, like Best Noob's other Russian account. He's just playing on random, but... Yeah, and I mean, with that, the Rangers will also be moved to the right side of the map to try to exert a little bit more map control. And we even see Sorrowful content to keep the Rangers actually unreinforced. And of course, you know, like a few other squads in the game, the overwhelming amount of the functionality of the Rangers is just lying in that first model. And it's really only kind of the tankiness of the squad that's missing. Not that it has much to begin with.
Yeah, I pretty regularly, if I have sniper squads, I'll leave them at 2 models. 1 is a little too brazen for me, but I'll normally keep it at 2 out of 3. We do have a big push coming in from Python right now, looking to shut down some of this power from the Eldar. Will he actually be able to pull it off? Where is the Shuriken? The Shuriken is nowhere to be seen, so it will just be the Banshees, Farseer, and those Rangers trying to stop this. And I'm not sure that's enough. Python has a pretty strong force here. We've seen this force commander has kind of just been this this brute force tier 1 Space Marine blob. The battle cry goes down. Shuriken now is getting into position, but it can't quite hit most of the stuff here.
It's also all by itself, so if the Assault Marines jump on it, there's no real answer against it. But is that going to be Mind War on the Force Commander, forcing him off? So at the very least, the Force Commander is already gone, and the Banshees actually make it in time to support the Assault Marines, as well as the Doom, very timely, scares off the Assault Marines as well.
Yeah, now this is where I feel like it's a little tricky for the Farseer. She has all these different spells, so you really have to start managing your energy correctly. You can't be spamming Fleet of Foot every opportunity you have. You can't be hitting Guide every engagement if you want to actually use Mind War and Doom. And the Guide and Doom are kind of stacking, right? Because you either have the bonus range damage or the bonus damage received by the squad. So you generally only want to use one when you can use both. But right there, we kind of saw the full gamut there. We saw the Mind War shut down the Force Commander. We saw the Doom go down on the Assault Space Marines. And now the Return Gen Bash is coming down the map here.
How much can he get of this? Because although I like the way that Sorrowful managed his engagement against old Python, but the truth is that he actually still lost most of his generator farm because the scouts were not really the focus of Sorrowful. And Sorrowful's, I mean, he's just so far back, actually. He's at least maybe just waiting for the engage. The Assault Marines will jump in. That might be a little bit early. Doom is put on them immediately, and the Howling Banshees are here for the counter initiation. Scouts are moving up to support, but will it be enough? Will it be in time? Looks like it is.
Yeah, well, the thing with this build is once the battle cry comes down, there is so much damage coming out from these squads. These are four shotgun scouts with battle cry, not to mention like the disruption of it all. It's huge damage. The way Python plays this, all of these squads are a threat to every one of the Eldar squads, and you can see he was mostly in full health with a lot of those squads. I just don't think he was in the right positioning. He needed to have his Rangers spread out a little more, and when the scouts came in, they just started blasting away at everything. There's a flamer over here on the generators now. Sorrowful is going into tier 2, but old Python getting a second Gen Bash is going to put Sorrowful on the back foot. Now, Sorrowful is approaching enough power to get some sort of tier 2 tech out here, though, so this isn't going to be the shutdown that we've seen from the first series. Sorrowful's held long enough to get into tier 2, even with losing the gens. This grenade, though! Oh my gosh, obliterating scouts! 4 or 5 scouts just went down to that one grenade and completely shutting down. Was that everything but the 2 Sarges? Oh my gosh.
Yes. And I think it was pretty much only the fact that the Sarge has more health than the regular scout models that even enabled those squads to survive at all. So that was an incredible grenade.
Yeah, the suppression was down. Old Python wanted it a bit too much, was too stubborn to retreat those squads after the suppression hit, and he paid for it. That's not insignificant. You got 30. That's 105, 210 to reinforce all those scouts. That's almost worth a drop pod in itself.
All right, so Sorrowful is approaching the requisition, or rather, well, both. The requisition and the power, basically just the cost of a Falcon, if that's what he chooses to get. Unless he's going to wait just a little bit longer for a Wraith Lord. Guess he might be waiting for a Wraith Lord, unless he just hasn't pressed the button.
I mean, he's still doing all right on his power income. He's got both his nodes down. He doesn't have any
He's going to make it a Wraith Lord.
Yep, okay, Wraith Lord's coming in. Python just now hitting tier 2. He does have a Devastator and Assault Space Marines, so he will have some decent upgradable anti-vehicle options. But there's still 2 Rangers on the field, so it's going to be pretty difficult to keep a las cannon up unless you can keep those disrupted. And again, these fully upgraded scouts just on the map looking for trouble. Even if the Rangers have longer detection range than the scouts, as soon as those scouts turn red, it kind of reveals to you where the Rangers are. So it's still advantageous to be running around on the map and scouting with these guys. And yeah, see, he's back here looking for something to kill on the back lines. Unfortunately, all he's going to find is a Wraith Lord, and maybe he'll be able to steal this generator away. But
I like this for Old Python because he sees the Wraith Lord earlier than he would otherwise if he wasn't doing this scouting with the scouts. Scouts actually scouting.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. Oh my gosh, this Devastator squad. Yeah, I was about to say, they need to retreat right now before the Kinetic Pulse comes. Or wait, no, he doesn't actually have aspect on either of these Ranger squads. He's just using them oh my gosh, look at these scouts. All these trolls. Just waiting on the back line for the Wraith Lord to get far enough away that they can then turn around and break those generators. Yep, that's exactly what they do.
It's actually pretty funny. So they'll definitely take that generator. Let's see if Sorrowful will be able to trade it out. I don't think he's killed the generator yet, but he might be able to do it now.
Yeah, he may have gotten 1 on that first bash, I think, but that's about it. He's Banshees are up here along with the Farsi are ripping into power. Force Commander gets shoved out of there, and there is a Wraith Lord now on the field with a Shuriken Cannon, shoulder mounted as well. Scouts finish off the power. They get the generator, they get the node, they stealth out, and they move on to the next target. They're both still level 1.
Assault Marines jump in, but even just the threat of doom being put on them scares them off. They already lose a chunk of their health. Grenade will go in on the Devastators. The Devastators actually in a lot of trouble, but I think that's enough health for them to get out alive.
Yeah, let's see. Maybe a volley from the Shuriken Cannon of the Wraith Lord. No, not quite going to finish it off, but he might just set up camp outside the base here at this point.
All right, so it looks like it will be a full power bash by Sorrowful.
Yeah,
Dreadnought's
I mean,
gonna
I'm
be
not
coming
sure.
out for
So
Old Python.
There's. I guess we'll see what comes of the scouts. It feels like the Dreadnought coming out a little later due to all the investment in those scouts might. Because if the Dreadnought was out and defending the gens right now, right, it might have saved him a couple hundred requisition. That said, the scouts did get the gen bash thanks to that stealth too, so it's
And nobody has generators now.
Yeah, nobody's got generators. Everyone's got a full army tab. We've got walkers on the field. It's kind of full tier 2 tech. And it looks like that's where it's going to be staying for a little while. Just in case Sorrowful had decided to build something back up there, some flame attacks back here to make sure it didn't stay standing anyways. Python constantly keeping pressure on that power farm.
Now with our vehicles out, you know, it's kind of have that dueling Wraith Lord against the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought, once it's in melee, it does have a bit of an edge, both a little bit more damage as well as a little bit more health. And then kind of the next question is, are we going to be seeing any upgrades from the squads that will be able to just help deal with those vehicles a little bit more? Old Python definitely a little bit better set up with that. More of his squads can be upgraded for that, but don't see anything yet. Okay, Power Fist is coming.
Yeah, and Power Fist will be a big edge if the Force Commander can actually get into melee with that Walker. Assault Marine jump in. The Sarge is here now. We see the Farseer looking to get something in here. Doom comes down, but Farseer is going to get knocked back and suppressed. And it looks like the Space Marines have the edge here. Altark's coming in, but these grenades look like they're hitting kind of a lot of nothing. They do get some disruption on the scouts if nothing else, but the Altark needs to get on that Devastator.
The Howling Banshees have gone down.
The Banshees went down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, unfortunately those Banshees.
Huge.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the breaking point. I mean, this has been actually pretty good game so far. But I think this is where Old Python starts to run away with it.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's forcing that so hard. Python was moving up the map, but I feel like that was just a really rough time to try to push that there.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to run the Banshees past the Dreadnought because obviously the Banshees don't want to fight the Dreadnought. But that in itself was very risky because that also means that they're retreating through the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Altark was called in, I guess, to kind of help with that engagement. But at the moment, I don't really like what the Altark brings here. I think there's too much in terms of like shotgun scouts, the Dreadnought, and it also means committing Sorrowful to another unit that can't even fight the Dreadnought.
Yeah, the Dreadnought, really the only thing that can deal with it right now is the Wraith Lord. And
so
even that
I was
needs
gonna say,
something else.
He's getting another Guardian weapon team, and right before he got that, I was going to say, I feel like he has to upgrade his existing Guardian weapon team to a Bright Lance.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He needs at least one Bright Lance here. Obviously, with the second weapons team coming in, we're going to see that second one. But these scouts have been so effective, despite having, like, the two Rangers. I thought the two Rangers were going to be a pretty solid answer to kind of at least intimidate and bully around the scouts a little bit, cause a lot of extra bleed. But honestly, the only scout bleed we saw was from that that amazing grenade drop earlier on.
All right, grenade gonna go out on that lead Guardian weapon team. Doesn't take that much damage, so should be able to just stay out here. Old Python though, trying to press his advantage and actually loses the Force Commander.
Yeah, he gets a decap on the natural VP, but at this point, I don't think it's worth throwing the Force Commander away for that. But there's nothing out here to answer the Assault Marines for the time being, so he might force off at least one of these weapon teams. Altark's coming back to answer. Laz Cannon coming in. Is he going to find an opportunity?
The Assault Marines might actually be in trouble now. Can the Wraith Lord get another swing?
Oh my gosh.
Takes out the Assault Marines.
For the Emperor activated on the Las Cannon, doing huge damage.
It's out of range,
though. This Wraith Lord, it's in range of that Dreadnought. One more punch is all it takes. It gets away from the snare.
Is it gonna get it? Is it gonna get it?
The Dreadnought's waddling forward. Oh my god.
Even with the sync kill.
Those nubby legs and nubby arms were all he needed.
The Bright Lance! It's not really positioned in the right direction.
The Farseer now. The Dreadnought is just killing everything. Oh my god, it's an Eldar massacre. Space Elves have no answers to giant human-built robots.
And yet, at the same time, I'm looking at the unit tab. What happened to the rest of Old Python's army?
Did the Altark just hack its way through all of this? What even happened there?
I feel like what I watched was Sorrowful losing units.
So
and then
Python
I feel like
throws everything away on the heel of that
what
huge
is that?
Dreadnought.
Did he disconnect or something?
I don't know. He just retreated. Oh my god, Python with the biggest throws. Oh my gosh.
I mean, the Dreadnought's still moving. Where's the scouts? They're moving too as well.
Okay, well, he's repurchasing some Assault Marines.
That looks like he's still playing.
There's another heavy weapons team on the field. Yeah, I mean, how bizarre. Was he just so focused on the Dreadnought he completely ignored the rest of his troops, I guess? I mean, that's what we were watching too, but we weren't playing.
I mean, like in the moment, it just felt like such a big win for that Dreadnought to take out the Wraith Lord, and then the Bright Lance wasn't even set up to try to finish off the Dreadnought. It seemed like so many things were going well for Old Python, but I guess it was just kind of tunnel visioning. And Sorrowful actually had his eyes on the big picture.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Dreadnought obviously did huge work there. It killed the opposing walker, the hero, and a setup team, but at the cost of most of the Space Marine army. Ugh, well, Python's got his work cut out for him. What was a strong potential for a comeback there is suddenly a very small army. Literally all he has are scouts, the assaults, and a dreadnought, which is not going to be able to make any sort of approach against double bright lances.
Meanwhile, unfortunately, those assault marines jump right into the firing arc of the shuriken cannon because they were jumping on top of the bright lances. That means they're off the field. This also means the dreadnought can't get a whole lot done now against double bright lance.
Nobody expects the third setup team.
It will be upgrading to the assault cannon, so I don't know. It's maybe going to be looking for the assault cannon barrages, and with their current positioning, might actually be able to hit both of them with a single barrage. But it would also just take so much damage just trying to get in.
This kind of double hero play right now between the Autark and the Farseer. In these small army matchups, like these single unit entities are much more difficult to deal with because they can kind of just charge in against your squads here, and it's hard to have an answer.
Yeah, that Autark does have the Executioner Spear. Can't tell if she also has her Energy Shield. Which, once she has those two things, she becomes pretty oppressive herself.
Right, yeah, I think Python just kind of threw too much away here. I think it was a great engagement, but when he lost the Force Commander on the point, the Dreadnought charge was fine, but man, it's looking like...
As tough it is to say, I think old Python might just need to wait until he can get like at least one more unit out on the field, but Sorrowful is actually putting even more units out on the field.
Yeah, I mean, repurchasing the Banshees, never a bad idea. If you've got a bunch of setup teams and they've got Assault Terminators, you kind of want Banshees. Or, sorry, Assault Marines, not Terminators. Python wishes he had some Terminators right now. He can go to Tier 3 if he wants, but, I'm not sure. Well, it could be alright. We'll see what happens.
I think that's just a drop pod, but it's a nicely placed drop pod to help dislodge the Guardian Weapon Team. Will it be enough, though?
Oh man, that Assault Cannon barrage, really nice looking right there. Farseer is going to go down. Tactical Marines are in the retreat path. They might actually be able to get something done on these retreating... Oh, no, he's not going to go for the retreating Rangers.
Are we watching Game of Thrones right here? The Farseer is down, and that's a one engagement for old Python.
All right, we have Tac Sarge coming down. We're probably going to see those transform into Stern Guards. And suddenly, Python's back in it a little bit. 106 to 148. And I'd venture to say at this point, once again, this can go either direction. All three setup teams now moving in on the Gen Farm and the Space Marine, but at this point, I think it's kind of a moot point. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if Python is planning on going into Tier 3 at this point, but he suddenly has a triple cap, and there's 70 points on the board. So what do you do?
This generator bash is not the play.
He does have some webways around the map, so he can maybe get some caps in. But the Dreadnought is watching mid with an assault cannon.
The Autark needs to go for the Space Marine natural. We're going to see the Dire Avengers look for basically Sorrowful's own natural, but the Force Commander, if he really wanted, could also kind of disrupt that. But I mean, this is cutting it really, really close. This generator bash may not be worth it.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, it's kind of important to keep Space Marine tech on the down low, but at the same time, you got to stay in the game for that to matter. 23 points and ticking down. Autark will shut down the bleed for the moment. The Dire Avengers are not going to be able to hold that, and Space Marines are going for the cap. The Dreadnought is just unanswered. That's the problem. They're not even going to be able to get the center point, I don't think. Scouts are over here with a shotgun blast if they need it. The two Bright Lances are in position now.
They need to set up.
But it's a little too late. Yeah, they're repositioning constantly. They're trying to get the best angle on this Dreadnought. Banshee's screaming somewhere. Getting the scouts out of there does allow the Autark to get in on the game. 16 points remaining, and it looks like Sorrowful has held, at least for the moment. Continuing to maneuver these Brightlands cannons around via the webway gates and get an edge on this dreadnought that has been such a thorn in his side since its existence. Really, the only thing that's been going well for Python is this dread.
All right, I think the dreadnought may have finally reached the end of its life.
And
man,
Python almost brought it back in here, but I think it looks like Sorrowful has rallied and should be able to shut this final push from Python down. There's still some time though. Vanguards are on the field. I don't know if I would have upgraded the Vanguards here, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Maybe they were low enough models that it was worth it to just, oh man, an orbital coming in.
Might take out a Ranger.
Yeah, I think that's all it's going to do though. Ranger goes down. Let's see one of the heavy weapons team gets knocked into the secondary beam, so he does kill 2 squads there, and when you're in a low victory point position, that's not insignificant. Just taking out a couple squads, but you can see on the army bar, it's still just so far behind. He definitely isn't going to be bringing in Terminators at this point after using all that red on the orbital. But stalling.
Old Python might be looking for another TAC drop pod though. And that, I feel like there's a chance for that to actually work. No, he's going to be looking for a Plasma Devastator.
Question mark. So...
That's so he can hold his natural victory point.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there are webways everywhere right now, so it's going to, when you get to this late stage in the Eldar and the Eldar just starts slapping webways down everywhere, it does become notoriously difficult to actually bleed off these last.
All right, he's looking for the engage for the Emperor on the Vanguard veterans, and there is no Shuriken cannon this time. It's only Bright Lances.
So they're just going to be jumping around. The Doom and the Banshees, though, is just so much damage on that squad. They're forced to retreat. Sternguard's taking a grenade here. Actually managed to dodge the worst of the damage. But can the Force Commander stall long enough? There's only a few Banshees still out here, but the Autarch and the Banshee Exarch still do so much damage.
All right, I think we might finally be having GG as the decap will be happening by the Brightlands on the natural victory point. Although Sorrowful is continuing to lose a few squads, Autarch coming in to stop those scouts.
The VPs are going neutral again. The Devastator is getting into position. Python trying everything in his repertoire to keep this going.
Ooh. Devastator does not knock the Brightlands off the point.
It's a 2-0 cap.
That is the double cap. Force Commander trying to actually get the cap in his favor.
I don't think he is being focused on here. Scouts trying.
Oh yeah,
so
Doom is
hard.
put on him.
The task unfinished is a prayer unanswered. We shall make it so.
Oh man, so this is
Autarch Sky Leaps.
This match has just turned into a mess. It's just
I can't believe this is still going.
Everyone's just throwing everything they have at the victory points. It's 16-24. Banshees are coming in here under the webway cloak here. Assault Marines try to jump just to prevent it.
All right, they do have Merciless Strike though.
They just have to hold for a few more seconds and stop anything from capping the point.
Oh my god. You're right. He needs to put something on the point. It's the Rangers trying to move up.
7. It's at 7. I don't think that's in time.
Grenade goes out. Oh my god.
And that's going to be the game.
I can't believe Old Python just won this.
It away.
Oh my god.
For victory is ours.
Wow. What a match.
I was not expecting this. I mean, Sorrowful really proven to be a wild card, unless, of course, this is just, Best Noob's Russian account. But, man, regardless, that was a great game.
All right. Sorrowful. Showing a good Eldar game. A couple questionable plays, but overall was looking pretty strong there. Let's see what we have this time around.
All right, gonna get the Commando this time. The Mando.
Commando Knob facing off against the Force Commander. Let's see if Sorrowful can bring some hurt with the Orky boys. as opposed to the Space Elves. When do we get a piano emote in chat? The piano emote is just whenever piano gets banned, which will, you know, is common enough. You just have to instigate him into saying something stupid, which is apparently not particularly hard.
All right, so this Commando Knob going to be moving forward, infiltrated, probably hunting for a target or something, trying to look for some scouts with that 35 DPS weapon. I've confirmed that now. He can bleed those models off pretty quickly, but instead he might get the decap on the power.
Oh, nice job.
That might be a better prize. I think it is.
Now, in this, did he announce? Was that a good luck, have fun at the beginning, or did he announce that he was Commando Knob?
Oh, I don't think he announced it.
So Commando Knob is here, already getting the decap on the power. Node going down for the Orks. Double shooters in here against double scouts.
Oh,
and
man. Only the scouts to answer this.
Yeah, shenanigans are afoot.
I think these scouts mostly just lucky that the Commando Knob apparently... Okay, now they actually move into his firing range.
The
or his
Commando
firing
Knob,
sight.
of course, has slightly smaller range. Oh my gosh, even popping the node. No hesitation on that at all. Scouts get forced off the other side of the map, and the Orks are going to have pretty much free reign for the time being, while the Space Marines are forced to deal with that power node.
All right, how much map control can Sorrowful turn this into? It actually seems like he's trying to engage on some of those units around getting that power just to try to delay it further.
Yeah, I mean, he threw a stun bomb out, actually tagged the tactical Marines, so really stalling out that power node. Big shoot is coming in as the first purchase, and the Force Commander is not going to be able to do anything about this. Oh my gosh.
He puts the note on it again.
Yeah, he puts the node back up. Oh my gosh, this has got to be so frustrating. The scouts just need to go like top or something. They should probably just grab, I mean, he doesn't even have enough for shotguns. I was about to say, if they grab shotguns and go top, they can at least get the node up there. Because they're not really contributing much to this fight down here.
Oh my god, this is like the random advantage of getting an infiltrating commander on random and not announcing it to your opponent. Alright, meanwhile those tacks getting pretty low, but managed to get out of there with all three models. Old Python coming back out. Force Commander looking for those shooter boys, but I don't know if this is enough actually, until the tacks get back out as well.
Yeah, the Force Commander should get pushed back here. The second squad attacks is out here now. But the two big shooters are still a threat.
Yep, there's the aiming what's that. Trying to put some damage on them while that's happening, but they're tanking it pretty well. Do we have another cast of aiming what's that for them? No, he's content to just kind of kite.
Alright, so double shooters just continuing
this kiting
to kite.
is actually pretty funny.
I mean, at this point, yeah, oh my gosh, the tacks are forced to retreat, now the shooters can just continue capping the map. Meanwhile, up top, the sluggers have taken everything. Luta's coming out behind all of this. Commando Knob still out here as well. 2 gens down for the Orc. In addition to everything else that's happened, Python's still just struggling to get his node. Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating.
Oh my god, like when your entire army is bashing your node.
Yeah, when your entire army is forced to bash your own power farm.
Oh god. Old Python even going with double scout, double tack, because you know he was probably just looking for something to do with his requisition to try to help him fight back out of here.
Yeah, now the Luta's coming out. I'm not sure how I feel about the Luta. We'll see what kind of work this can get done. But oh, okay, we got sneaky slugger boys.
Oh, I like it
here.
right now. If it can open fire, I guess it didn't have sight. All right, now opens fire on the tacks.
Alright, so one squad gets forced off. The sluggers are looking to get in on this Devastator. Will it get a burst off? It does. It does manage to suppress one, but grenades coming down on the tacks. They are forced to fall back. Oh my gosh, and everything is just a disaster for Python right now. It's a 2-0 cap. At least one of the scout squads did manage to get out on the map. A second Luta coming out? Is that intentional?
All right, he's okay. I honestly don't dislike the second Luda. I think actually with what old Python has kind of been shoehorned into in terms of his build, I actually think the Ludas could be very, very powerful.
All right, generators coming down. The lead model of the Devastator getting taken out, though. The suppression finally comes in, but he might lose the squad at the cost
the Devastator
of it.
might go down. All right, they'll just barely. Do they even get out of their life? The burst
Oh
from the
my
shooters
gosh,
leaves them at 8 hit points.
But he wasn't paying attention to the Force Command. If he was watching the Devastator himself, Force Commander goes down on retreat. That's gotta be.
All right, this is this is game 2.
I think it's time to call it. You're gonna tilt yourself if you keep playing this one. Python is determined to stay in, though.
Yeah, I don't think there's like not that I sometimes have a reputation or a tendency to call things a little bit too early, but I think Sorrowful has won this game.
Yeah, this is a tough position to come back from. The Ork's gonna be way ahead in tech. Oh, even tries to fake out a little bit there. He threw the grenades a little behind the tacks, expecting some movement, but Python didn't even budge. Called the bluff, or maybe just didn't micro, one way or another. But shooters continuing to put pressure. I mean, Python's literally just been fighting in this one corner of the map the whole game, struggling desperately to hold on to his power farm.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does not have. He doesn't really have a good answer to the Luda, which is kind of what I was saying about before, where I actually kind of like the double Luda. I mean, that just combination of attacks, scouts. The scouts don't even have upgrades, so it's not even like they're going to be throwing a grenade on those Ludas, because for much of this, they just haven't had the power to do something like that.
All right, well, I mean, this is looking quite one-sided. Sorrowful showing that he's not willing to take this a second time around. Shutting down Python from the get-go with some sneaky commando knob shenanigans that have just continued to be a headache the entire game so far.
Yeah,
Sorrowful,
this is crazy.
Can he not go to tier 2 yet? Not quite. He's about to hit the tier 2 button. Python is, well, quite a ways off from that. Storm Shield coming in again.
Finally, the Storm Shield. Commando's getting low.
Yeah, he's gonna get out of there, but the Storm Shield's a pretty reasonable answer to this.
Force Commander. All right, he does get into range, and I guess eventually, yeah, the Storm Shield there does actually do quite well. So he finally does have an answer against those Ludas. Second one will need to retreat. All right, so Python finally pushing out of his base, but Sorrowful will be going into tier 2 momentarily. Most likely going to be coming in with a truck or a Def Dread behind that.
Yeah, when you're looking down 2 Ludas and 2 shooters, I mean, I guess the Storm Shield's an obvious choice. All right, 176 to 482 with the game just now starting. So Python coming into this 300 victory points down, but the Storm Shield's a pretty strong answer to everything that's happening here from the Orks for the moment.
Force Commander about to run out of energy, though, so they're pulling back because defend will not really be an option for too much longer.
Yeah, that was a long delay from the Devastators right there, too, allowing everything to come out of suppression.
Bombs nearly wiping that squad.
Defend coming in, but not quite in time. Oh, I was about to say, I was going to be baffled if those Devastators managed to survive somehow.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought they were going to get around, like, block line of sight, but just not enough. That being said, it almost feels like Sorrowful's kind of letting this happen a little bit too much. Like, I feel like he should still be able to bully, but that grenade! Oh my God!
What a grenade! There are sluggers in the retreat path though, so if they move to kill these scouts off, that'll be nice. They've been killing the power this whole time as well. They get a swing in, but it looks like, yeah, he was a little too late to react to that. Wanted the generator a little too bad. The generator doesn't move. You can always get the generator. Def Dread coming out now. Sorrowful. I think once this Def Dread hits, that'll kind of seal the deal.
For a second there, between that generator bash and that grenade, I'm starting to wonder, like, does old Python actually come back for this? Like, that would be insane. But with the Def Dread out and old Python He's not even that close to upgrading to tier 2.
No, not at all. The slug
The
has
Depth
got
Dread
in
should
on
finish
that
the
gen
game.
farm ages ago. So the bash was mutual, which still just left Python way behind.
For the moment, though, Old Python will be holding the double cap. Even going to see if he can force the triple with the scouts capping top, but just in the long run, I don't think there's any way he can hold this as long as this Depth Dread is out.
Yeah, and this is kind of what he should have been doing from the beginning. Those scouts were in that fight down at the gen farm at the very beginning of the game when I feel like they could have just been running around the map capping. Now he's finally starting to get that capping power in from the scouts, but unfortunately a bit too little too late.
So, man, I mean, I was impressed with the Farseer from last game. Maybe the Commando was actually a stronger commander for Sorrowful. Or a stronger race in Orks.
Oh my gosh, how many gens have gone down for Python? Well, I guess not that many, because he's only had the chance to build a few.
Yeah, he's got that node down. I'm surprised that Depth Dread doesn't stay there just a little bit longer. But I guess really, the real win condition at this point isn't continually generator bashing. It's just holding the victory points, which, I mean, sounds obvious, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the last... There we go. He finally throws in the towel. And it's going to be 1-1 for Sorrowful and Python.
I mean, we had a crazy close game 1, and then what a beating that was for game 2.
That was just a hard shutdown.
So no idea what to expect from game 3 now. Sorrowful proving to actually having, well, pretty deep, at least in the sense of so far we've seen 2 heroes on random. And both of them I would say actually went well for Sorrowful. One obviously quite a bit better than the other.
Yeah, Shroom is a no-show. So that's what happened up top. That's why there's no score. Shroom didn't show up. So that's what's going on there. Hopefully Shroom will be awake or whatever happens for the losers match. But that's going to be after this game. So Shroom has, if anyone has any way to contact Shroom, get him in here. Now's the time.
Oh my god, the Eversor Assassin.
Oh, okay. Eversor
Jesus.
Assassin versus Force Commander.
Alright, Strike Squad coming out. We'll see if it's the double Strike Squad, but generally feel... yeah, I definitely like the double IST build, and in this matchup in particular, I kind of like what the ISTs bring in contrast to the Scouts, kind of that superior range damage, the burst pattern often makes it so that if ISTs and Scouts run into each other just around the field, especially if Scouts still have bolters, the ISTs kind of have the advantage, although we have seen that Old Python definitely likes his shotguns.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to think. Between this map so rarely being played and not seeing any much Eversor Assassin and any like real competitive play, I'm curious to see how it goes. Double ISTs, Old Python not going for a second scout. I guess maybe.
Yeah, that's a little questionable. I mean, let's see. We'll see if he puts it in... Oh, he kind of has to put a node on this power, otherwise it's just going to be straight up taken by the Strike Squad, unless he plans to node the other one. Not seeing nodes either place just yet.
Yeah, I think he's going for a second tack.
Yeah, that makes sense now that you mention it. Yeah, and that's what he's doing.
The enemy is capturing one of our strategic points. No blow will go
All right, so just
Eversor
yeah,
Assassin.
he's just hacking
He's
away
just
at the
chasing
Force
down.
Commander here.
Chasing down that Force Commander.
Strike Squad's in the retreat path. If he gets much lower, it could get a little dicey here.
All right, he activates Psycon at this time. Gonna see if that can help him get the kill on retreat. Will it be enough?
Oh my
god,
gosh.
it's so close.
The strikes finish
One,
it off.
is enough. Oh man.
Early loss for Python. Python being
Yeah,
a little
big
too
early
brazen
loss
with
for
his Force
Python.
Commander. That's kind of Python's whole style, is just like build a bunch of Space Marines, get in your face, knock you around with Scouts and a Force Commander. And if you can kind of overcome that brute force tactic, then it seems like you're pretty much good to go. Grenade launchers coming in for the Stormtroopers.
Oh, but the grenade barrage, well placed. Will
So
knock
much
over those
damage
tacks.
from these guys.
Tack's still chasing, though. Ooh, that wasn't quite the ideal retreat path there. Another Stormtrooper models goes down, but it does still look like the Tacks are in trouble. Oh yeah, they're very much in trouble. I think they just need to retreat, and they lose a model before it happens.
Yeah, so losing the Force Commander, losing attack model, getting a Devastator out here for the moment, but
We're going to see triple IST. I wonder if this is an Overwatch mistake, but I could also very much understand it not being an Overwatch mistake.
yeah, normally when you see the early infantry spam, you start seeing Inquisitorial Operatives as well, getting those shotguns in.
Claiming a victory point.
Stormtroopers firing over the gap here, putting some hurt down on the Space Marines. Might decide to approach that. Oh no, the Strike Squad's here to decap the power, alright. And, yeah, not much to say about this one so far. Sorrowful pretty decisively keeping Python off the map, especially after that early Force Commander kill. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say the Devastator kind of a curious purchase after spotting the grenade launchers.
Yeah, we've got double grenade launchers now. Could even make it a third if you really wanted.
Alright, knockbacks coming in. Yeah, 2 grenade launchers is going to be kind of a nightmare for Tax and a Devastator to approach.
Man, Tax seeming to be functioning more like melee units in this match, constantly trying to get into force melee with those Stormtroopers. And, I mean, it's certainly pressuring the Stormtroopers back, but at the same time, the Tax themselves extending so far forward, sometimes losing models in the process. Looks like this one might get out of there without losing a model, though.
Yeah, it's just a lot of bleed. It looks like a Strike Squad did lose a little bit as well. VPs are largely even right now, as is power income generally. So eco-wise, it's pretty even up. No decisive wins yet.
Stormtroopers on the left will be working on those generators. Just feels like they just shoot a little bit before they need to reload, but of course that burst firing pattern considered a strength of theirs, generally speaking. Force Commander trying to get the contested victory point. I think he'll be forced off, though, by these Stormtroopers. Even Grenade Barrage will be committed. That just straight up knocks him off, and it's a retreat from him.
Yeah, with the 2 grenade launcher squads, you have grenade barrages so often, and then from there, you're just constantly blasting away on top of it. Generators slowly getting burned down on the far side.
This lone IST squad is bashing pretty much unopposed. Finally, it looks like we're going to have the double Tax as well as the Devastators answer this, but I feel like at least one of these generators should go down before that. It's so close.
Yeah, they're spreading fire so much between the 2 sets of gens.
Oh my god, they might not actually finish it.
Yeah, he does fall back. Grenade launchers firing over that wall. Or sometimes through it.
So, I mean, Sorrowful is still, he's had the edge on map control for much of this game as well. He's got the double cap. But we're also going to see the generator bashing attempt from Old Python down on the left side of the map.
Python getting
but the Tax are idling.
Devastator?
Yeah, I saw that one. At this point, from what we've seen with Old Python, I actually think it's intentional.
I just can't imagine that's a good call, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, we see a gen steal over here from Python.
Another questionable call is putting the Devastators in the garrison when you've got the double grenade launcher Stormtroopers. All right, wow, yeah, he'll take these generators for the moment. I'm kind of surprised he let that happen. Purgation will now come out from Sorrowful.
Yeah, what a strange match.
part of me was wondering if Python would put a node on this power, but I think he just wants to make sure he can get to tier 3 pretty soon. Sorry, tier 3, tier 2. But no, he's actually coming in with a drop pod. He could have gone to tier 2 pretty soon, but he'll commit a tack squad. He's got 6 units in tier 1 and a commander.
So he has 2 tacks.
Uh-oh,
Or sorry,
he might
3,
not have 6.
Yeah. 3 tacks and 2 devs in tier 1. What a build. He's going to hold. It's going to get to the point. I guess he just wants to overpower these stormtroopers.
The strike squad, by the way.
Are they going
Force
to take
melee
it
from
out?
the attacks. I think they will. 13 hit points.
Oh my gosh, the purgation just
can't
barely
believe.
saves it.
Why purgation? To save the strike squad.
Alright, so Sorrowful heading into tier 2. Python is actually pretty well wrecked start. He could go into tier 2 with the power, but
He could have gone to tier 2 already, like a minute or two ago. He had the requisition for it, and he was just waiting on like 20 power. But he committed all that requisition to another tack squad.
so old Python, like I said, he's a brute force kind of guy. So now he's got 3 tacks to shove in the opponent's face.
All right,
know
I
how
think these
effective
squads
it'll
here.
ultimately
Oh no,
be.
with the Devastators, they're gonna go
What are
down.
they doing? He's been moving them up. Oh my gosh, were they looking for the garrison?
I have no idea at this point. Even if they were, the purgation was right there. So Sorrowful, even with a rather long tier 1 of his own, makes it into tier 2 in relatively reasonable time. Both of these players tending to get rather late tier 2s. But Python, my god, he's almost going to have enough power for like tier 3. This time I'm not even saying that accidentally. He's almost got 200 power. Banishment goes in from the strike squad, and the purgation looking to move up, but the Devastators will outrange them. One of those tack squads pretty low, though.
I mean, I'm not sure how much he cares about the tag squads getting low. At this point, I feel like he's probably just going to drop another pod at some point and reinforce them all.
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah, he lost that one Devastator.
Yeah, he lost one of the Devastators early on.
He's finally going to tier 2, but we already have the Rhino out from Sorrowful.
The enemy is capturing one of our victory points.
Yeah, the Rhino combined with all these light infantry, this is kind of it's similar to like going for the 3 Dire Avengers into a Falcon, right? You get the 3 light infantry and they just kind of roll around with the transport, constantly get reinforced. If they're, microed correctly, they'll never really have to fall off the map.
And of course, getting that heavy bolter upgrade on the Rhino. I've talked about this before, but the heavy bolter on the Rhino literally does the same thing as the heavy bolter on the Razorback for Space Marines, but you also get that little Space Marine on top, or that little Green Knight guy on top. He's probably not even that little, but he is shooting his own Storm Bolter, which does 25 DPS of its own. So this thing does so much damage. Another triple cap for Sorrowful as well. I mean, he's pretty much always had the edge in map control this game, and ultimately what we're kind of seeing, based on the way game 2 and 3 went, Sorrowful ultimately proven to be the stronger player here, unless old Python wants to shut me up and make a huge comeback.
Yeah, well, he just threw away a squad attack, so I don't think it's coming. It's a triple cap right now, and he's got nothing to answer this Rhino. Even with the las cannon, there's so many grenade volleys, it'll never really be up and running and contributing any sort of fire to the fight. Yeah, Python's trying to do whatever he can, but it looks like we're going to have a rematch of Python and Cassette here, unless Shrew manages to show up here in these final moments.
The enemy is capturing one of our strategic points. Weapons ready.
Meanwhile, scouts have been marked by the Everstar Assassin's global ability that will just reveal enemy units on the field. Going to be another triple cap soon for Sorrowful. Finally, Python going to be looking to get a Dreadnought out. We'll see if that'll be in time to mean anything, because he's very much running out of time. Like, once that Dreadnought comes out onto the field, he needs to push like right away, secure one victory point fast, and then try to get another one as well.
Yeah, I mean, and even if he manages to do that.
Yeah, he's already pushing without the Dreadnought, which, I mean, he doesn't have much time to work with, but at the same time, this might be a little ill-advised, might make it harder for him to actually win the engagement. Tax moving in, oh my god, these Tax just absolutely going for broke here, trying to force melee against the Stormtroopers.
Yeah, they get shredded by the Strike Squad, unfortunately. Tax get obliterated. Python might get a decap here and stall the game out just a smidge more. But no, it looks like the
Tax
scouts
down
are
as
going
well.
to get forced off the map on top of that. Tax go down. Force Commander is the only thing holding the base. 54 to almost 400 VPs. Python threw everything out the window and effectively throwing in the towel here in the last stages of the game. There's a Dreadnought out, but to what end, I'm not sure. It's certainly not to win the game at this point.
The enemy is claiming a victory point.
Python drops the
All right.
GG,
Yeah,
and that's
he's
going to
calling
be a
GG.
2-1 victory. Python managed to sneak out that first victory, but these last two games looked pretty decisive in favor of Sorrowful.
Yeah, I mean, Sorrowful has definitely proved to be a pretty big surprise. I was kind of going into this where I kind of looked at him as this big wild card where I really have no idea what to expect from him. And he has very much trumped expectations. So, I mean, he also guarantees his way into the playoff bracket. We'll see how things work out there for him. Obviously, random working out quite well for him, but we'll see if, you know, he still has that versatility and skill when it does come to some of the more challenging opponents that he might be facing later on.